Dr. Floyd, first off, thank you so much for doing this.
It's a pleasure.
I think I'd like to begin by asking you, the CTBTO's international monitoring system, it's a vast global network, and it has successfully detected, for example, all 6 of North Korea's nuclear tests. There haven't really been any undeclared tests since then, but how does the organization really go about ensuring that the system remains reliable and it remains accurate, and it also remains ready if and when required?
Yeah. It's an amazing system. When completed, it would be 337 facilities around the world. And it is designed to be able to detect a nuclear explosion, not the size of Hiroshima, which was 15,000 tons of TNT, chemical explosive equivalent, right, but way, way smaller, down to 1 kiloton, 1,000 tons of TNT. But the network actually does better than that. In covering every square kilometre of planet Earth, every portion of the ocean, we could detect a nuclear explosion down to only half a kiloton. And with the advent of AI and other analytical tools, we're getting even more sensitive. It's amazing. So that the technology and the analytical capability gives the confidence to all of the states of the world that we will be able to detect a nuclear explosion, a very small nuclear explosion, anywhere if it was to happen.
Right, you mentioned AI. I was just going to ask you, how is the organization really integrating, next generation technology, especially artificial intelligence, into its work, and what kind of results are you seeing out of it?
The treaty defines the 4 different types of data that we collect to detect a nuclear explosion, whether it's vibrations in the Earth's crust with seismic data, or vibrations in the ocean, or in the air, or radioactive materials in the air. And so our stations are detecting that all the time. But your point is really important, is that you can have the data, but can you find the needle in the haystack? Can you find that small signal which would tell you that there has been a nuclear explosion?
Right.
AI is really helpful, and we've already integrated aspects of machine learning into our suite of software. And so ultimately it's a human analyst that will make a determination as to what has happened. But the artificial intelligence machine learning capabilities has been a great assistance already, to our analysts.
The CTBTO has already completed more than 90% facilities and across its member states. What is the road ahead from here, at least from now until the treaty comes into effect? What is it that the organization is now focused on as the next steps?
Yeah, we're not content with 90%. And even just 3 weeks ago, we had 1 new station that was certified. It was established in the People's Republic of China. And they have some more that are on the way, and there are several others around the world. So in the next 12 months, 24 months, we're going to see 4, 5, 6 stations added to the network. So we're continuing to work to see some of those established. Some of them are in really difficult places like Antarctica.
Right.
And so it takes quite a while of lead time to be able to establish in such harsh and remote locations. So we're not finished. We're continuing to work on that. We're continuing to work on our international data center to see it improve its capability. And it's the important hub, because the data comes in from all around the world to the international data center here in Vienna. And then we put the data together and we make it available to all of our state signatories. Every state that has signed this treaty has access to the data, all of the data, not just to determine if there is a nuclear explosion that's taken place anywhere, but they can use that data for civil and scientific purposes, civil, natural disaster management, etc. So many uses, so valuable.
Right. Speaking of data centers, I think what's most interesting that I found in my time here at the conference is how the member states have established, with the help of the CTBTO, national data centers. And also another really important project and initiative that's been taken up is of the ratification from non-Annex II countries. Talk to us more about why both of these things are so important and critical to the treaty.
The national data centres, first up, is a part of the verification system design, and that is that every state can receive all of the data, they can have analysts trained in interpreting the data, and they can conclude for themselves. You know, with the aid of all of that data, our reports and training that we would provide, they can conclude for themselves as to whether a nuclear explosion has occurred or not. It's an open, it's a democratic, it's a free method of verification, which I think is wonderfully attractive. So that part is critically important, and we have an activity where we're wanting to make sure that national data centres are established in all of our state signatories. But over recent years, we've had quite a number of new states sign the treaty and ratify the treaty. In the last 4 years, 9 states have ratified the treaty. 1 has signed and yet to ratify, and there's 4 or 5 states at the moment that are going through the final processes towards ratification. This treaty already has 187 countries that have signed it, 178 that have ratified. 187 out of a possible 196. Almost universal. Amazing.
Right.
And there still are more that are moving towards that. Every one of them that signs on to this treaty, we want them to have a national data centre, to have access to the data, and to use it for the full range of purposes that they may desire.
Speaking of ratification and signatories, India is a country, one of the 3 that has not even signed the treaty yet. And in the past, repeatedly, the stance of the country has been that the treaty is, quote, unequal, and there are certain reservations that they have about certain clauses and provisions of the treaty. Under your leadership, Dr. Floyd, how does the organization seek to bridge that communication gap, probably reinitiate that conversation, and try to navigate their way through some of these concerns about the sensitive aspects of the treaty?
I am very, very keen, as the head of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty Organisation, to engage with all states, particularly those that have not yet signed or ratified. As my role is not just to look after our members, but is actually the journey towards universalisation of this treaty. So I'm very, very keen to engage meaningfully with India and to give them an update as to how things are going, what's happening, what the treaty is able to deliver, some of the things we've just spoken about. I would love that opportunity to be able to visit Delhi and to talk with leadership in India about where the treaty is at. And it's a wonderful treaty because it has one class of members. You're either signatory and you're a member, or you're not. There's no classifications, and we would very much welcome India's serious consideration.
This is your second S&T conference, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, yeah.
What has been the one thing or the things that have really surprised you or inspired you the most about this conference, about the different stakeholders that are involved in it, and the entire community? How do you think that has evolved since your first time?
The first time was very exciting and a wonderfully uplifting experience, which is a crazy way to describe a science and technology conference.
Right.
This one is even better. And the commitment of the people, over 2,000 people registered for this meeting. But the commitment of the people to see their science. Some of the people, they don't work on our issues, but they've got science and technology that could assist, and they're really keen to see that used. But the level of commitment, this wonderful team we have of station operators, national data centre operators and analysts from all over the world getting together and being able to support one another, share ideas, share experience, and learn of new technology. It is a very exciting time. The level of passion that I feel as I walk the corridors here in the Hofburg Palace and meet with the people from all over the world, it just makes me feel so excited and so glad I have an opportunity to work with this great bunch of people for a cause where we might see no further nuclear tests in this planet.
Right. But absolutely. I mean, no nuclear tests and the scientific advancement and equitable infrastructure, the national data centers in particular. I think that's something that the scientific community and also the civil population would be really interested in and looking forward to. Dr. Floyd, thank you so much for your time. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.